Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to a special coffee with yours truly, Dragon. This is going to be a special vigil calling for world peace. And of course, especially to the ongoing situation in Ukraine, between Russia and Ukraine, the crisis, which has, of course, the potential for a regional conflict, spillover if there is a conflict. At this moment in time, 8:07 p.m. in EST, in Hawk Island, Montreal, there's no official news that Russia has crossed the borders with any of its troops. There have been rumors, analysis, intelligence, and speculations, and of course, much more in parallel to what is going on with the situation in Ukraine and Russia. Yours truly is calling, of course, for a immediate resolution. I am hoping, and of course, it is simpler said than done. In order to understand the current conflict in Russia and Ukraine, I'm going to be doing some reading while drinking a cup of coffee, and while doing some meditation, and of course my shout out and love especially to all the people of the world, of course Russians, Ukrainians, Canadians, East, West, North, South, especially to my LGBTQ rainbow community as being yours truly Rainbow Dragon, our community, Rainbow Nation across nations, solidarity across the borders. Russia-Ukraine tense situation has escalated in the past days, and the current situation has begun about in November or December, when Russia has moved many troops close to the nearby the border with Ukraine in order to have a further, deeper, profound understanding of the relationship and of the conflict. We have to go back a little bit in history, and a little bit, of course, to the time when the Soviet Union, known as the USSR, the United Socialist Soviet Republics, when Ukraine was part of the USSR, what is known as the Union of Socialist Soviet Republics, before 1989, circa November. Because, of course, Ukraine was part of the union known as the Soviet Union, officially United Socialist Soviet Republics. I'm going to be pouring myself a cup of coffee, late cup of coffee at this late hour. There hasn't been any reports of any conflict, and I'm hoping by the time that these perhaps cup of coffees will be drank by yours truly Rainbow Dragon, that we will have found a resolution. This late hour, humanity facing COVID and double vaccinated, willing to get the third, we are facing tremendous local, national, and international crises, a health and financial crises. Of course, unprecedented financial, commercial, economic, financial, commercial crisis is unprecedented in recent memory, recent years. And of course, it is ongoing, starting with the COVID health and financial crises. It is with solutions that we gotta first focus on ourselves with now. Myself, I'm not perfect, far from it. Got issues, get moody, get upset, have suffered, have struggled, and do not play it self-righteous. Do not have all the answers. I have many questions, many answers. I know a little bit, can always discern and ask questions and know more about the situations and everything that is surrounding us. I'm going to take a moment to be grateful. Month of December was my grateful, thankful month, and I'm going to extend it to this January. See, I'm drinking this cup of coffee thanks to farmers who have harvested the red berry and have labored to extract the black and the dark bean, coffee bean in it, and it's been transported. Where the coffee comes from, I do not know. I know it's dark roast. It can come from Brazil, that way South America, that way Africa, Ivory Coast, Uganda, or even from Vietnam, who has become a global big producer of coffee, exporting coffee beans. That I do know, can speculate. It doesn't say on the label where the country of origin is. Can give him a call, can make further research, and can speculate. But from what I do know, it can be either from Latin America, Central America, Cuba, Africa, Uganda, Ivory Coast, or Vietnam. Know that it is the fruit of the dance of the goddess who dances with her brother sun to make and produce all fruits and vegetables and legumes. This is the motto of the dancing goddess army. All fruits, vegetables, and legumes are made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun. And the sun now rises and the sun now sets, makes and creates, produces fruits that our brothers and sisters, farmers, harvest for us to make, maintain, or upgrade civilization. Even myself, this Halva, I'm gonna have a little bit. This Halva is made in Ukraine. This Halva, Halva, which I like to eat as a dessert, is very affordable. It's made in the Ukraine. See here on the label, it says providentially, paradoxically, parallel way. It's made in Ukraine. And another providential parallel paradox is that, and I'm not getting paid, and I have no private or public sponsor at this moment in time. Maybe by midnight tonight somebody will commission an yours truly artist, activist, and athlete, struggling financially, to admit it, in a crisis, economically, financial crisis, but I'm grateful. Got food, got a cup of coffee, and my rent here for January is paid. And I'm grateful that got this half, I got this cup of coffee, and my electricity bill to Hydro-Quebec is paid. And I gotta give a shout out to Hydro-Quebec workers, farmers here in Montreal, Canadians, whom I love as a Quebecois, Quebecer myself. Hydro-Quebec, that now I'm doing this video. I'm recording this video with a smartphone and on my laptop, and I'm gonna be reading using electricity, clean, renewable, zero emission energy. And this lights above my head, zero emission energy that I'm using to make this video. I have my coffee maker heat on, and all this electricity I'm using is zero emission, zero pollution. 61 dams, Hydro-Quebec dams built across this province, whom we call in French La Belle Province, in Quebec, who since 1963, 61 dams using hydroelectric power, the rivers of this big and wide, beautiful blue province, using the veins of Mother Nature, the goddess, to the brains and the muscles of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of Quebecers who have labored since 1963, even before, to build 61 dams across this province so that we have and enjoy clean, renewable energy. All the energy I'm using now, and that Montreal, all the lights, and all the lights in this great, beautiful province, east, west, north, south, are due to those 61 dams. Even we export to our brothers and sisters in the Maine, in Massachusetts, and was an American twice in past lives, was reincarnated in many lives. I'm not perfect, far from it. I'm trying to reach more, doing more good deeds as much as can. I'm a spiritual teaching student. Have questions, do not know at all. Do get moody, do get upset, do get a bit angry. Now that my rent is paid, got food, got some bread, got some cold cuts, got some cheese, and gonna eat this halva, which I've paid $2.49 for this 400 grams. I'm grateful for this month of December. Cheers for world peace. And if anything now that could use, after rent being covered and coffee paid as an artist, what could use right now is LOVE, some love, because my brothers and sisters, after we have covered the basics, love is an important ingredient in our natures, of human beings. And I'm not gonna go into the cultural distinctions as North Americans, and I consider myself a world citizen. I'm a rainbow world dragon, the rainbow dragon world LGBTQ citizen. But I gotta act local, think global. As much as I think and meditate and philosophize and think global, gotta act local. Gotta act local and think global, right? With all the fragility, and we see how such a crisis, how interconnected we are. And I admit I'm not perfect, far from it. God, vices and lusts and issues. One thing you're not gonna see yours truly, Rainbow Dragon, with all the flaws and all the imperfections and all the things that I have. You will not see me unless I'm gonna go into reading now. But if I give a speech, a philosophy, a rant of the passionate, unedited, raw, revolutionary in some certain aspects and regards, you will not see yours truly read from a piece of paper. 6 words, look up to the camera, read 6 words again, look up to the camera, another 6 words, and look up again. Unless it's statistics, mathematics, or historical information in order to get it right in as much as can, as I'm going to be doing now, reading from Wikipedia, the Russia-Ukraine relations calling for a resolution. As from what I heard in the news, the escalations of tensions, there's a potential for a conflict. Officially, Russia's military has not crossed the borders officially. From what I've heard in the news yesterday, last night, and today, we Canadians have sent a navy and some troops due to our relations with NATO, North Atlantic, to the organization member countries in NATO, North Atlantic, to the organization of which Canada is a member along with 29 others. There are 30 members of NATO. Now I'm going to interject, I'm going to digress, of course, that I am calling for all willingly living to support the creation of the two complementary covenant cooperative institutions, new institutions to transcend and absorb and integrate with existing institutions such as NATO, the United Nations, the IMF, World Bank, and other institutions. The International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force to be of security and of service force. A new transnational force in complementary as I've created in my General War Integrated All Body Training System scenario that was created back in 2019 to go hand in hand with the World War III scenario, of which this Russia-Ukraine crisis could become not just a local crisis, but of course has the potential to get a spillover into a geopolitical and even a worldwide World War III scenario. And yours truly, of course, has created a World War III scenario back in 2019 in October, when was alarmed as a world peace advocate, independent student, scholar of wars, geopolitics, civilization, and independent theorist and global security analyst. Have said back in 2019 October, due mainly to having taken into consideration the geopolitical events that had transpired, mainly the US-China trade war, which the Donald Trump administration began in October 20, in 2018, at the beginning of 2018, about March, the US-China trade war, other geopolitical events. The US-China trade war was the main event. Historical events such as Pearl Harbor, that yours truly back in October 2019 has created, made, and designed, produced the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the 300 workout designed, made, and created to go hand in hand with the World War III scenario. And since my scenario not only had the devastation of World War III, it also had the solution, and the solution is what yours truly had began advocating and calling for. The application and putting into practice of my theories, the citizen integration theory, the democratic fusion theory, and the debt refusion theory. Just like in my scenario now, paradoxically, providentially in a parallel way, my scenario, which began about 93 days before COVID, and it also had the solutions, not only the devastation now on COVID. My trinity on the COVID-19 health and financial crisis has been, is, and will be this. First and foremost, brothers and sisters, do not know what caused COVID. Second, believe it was transmitted from snakes to human beings, what's called zoonotic transmission, the technical terms. That's what I believe. I do not know for sure. I believe it was snakes to human beings. I cannot rule out another possibility. Fourth dimension to that trinity, what I do know for sure, without a doubt, is that 93 days before COVID, yours truly is a world peace advocate, independent student, scholar of history, wars, geopolitics, and civilizations, a scholar student, as an independent theorist, social, political, financial, economic theorist, and political theorist, and general global security analyst, had created, designed, and made a general war integrated whole body training system, designed, made, and created to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario. Now I am double vaccinated, willing to get the third shot. I don't know what caused COVID. I believe it was snakes, but what I do know for sure, my scenario had the devastation, the crisis, which was World War III. And since my scenario had the solution, that's what I'm and have been advocating since July 24th. The creation of the International Integrated Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, the Dragan Army, in order to be complemented by the International Integrated Dance League, the Dancing Goddess Army, two complementary covenant cooperative institutions. One, the Dragan Army, officially International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, to secure food, housing, and transport for all. After we have secured and having applied debt refusion theory, my debt refusion theory into practice, putting it into practice, refusing all private and public debt, creating a new transnational global institutions of the International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, aka the Dragan Army, and attaining world peace in that manner after securing food, housing, and transport, those three essential elements of civilization in this new security force, local, national, and international, calling all willingly loving to support its mission, vision, and philosophy. After those three essential elements are secured, food, housing, and transport. Those three, food, housing, and transport, are essential elements of civilization. After those three are secured, we can ensure and work on services, whatever our other services can be provided. Cooking, cleaning, massaging, washing. For example, a family is going crazy with the children. Their children are driving the parents crazy. Mother doesn't know what to do. They're too hyperactive. They need to go run a little bit, half an hour running, a little push-ups, do some exercise, some dancing, some sports. Dragon Army, east, west, north, south, on the ground, on the floor, to offer the services after we secure food, housing, and transport. Whatever services can be provided, what can I do to my willingly loving allies and armies? I am thy servant. You will serve to serve in security, ensuring liberty, ensuring freedom, which is the double-edged sword, which humanity, my brothers and sisters, have been struggling with, wrestling with, the seven holy sacred letter word, Freedom. It's a new thing under the sun. It's freedom, I admit. Yes, freedom is a double-edged sword, my brothers and sisters. I admit, with my tiny hands, got tiny hands, tiny feet, and tiny little androgynous clit dick. Tiny Trinity. Got a fourth dimension, got a big mouth and some brains and some muscle. I'm not perfect, do not play it self-righteous. I lust, I got issues, I get moody, I get upset. Right now, what I could use, food I have, rent is paid, electricity is paid, guy, coffee. What I could really use right now after this cup of coffee is a good body massage. Get anybody, my allies and armies, if you're there, you got somebody with you. Don't waste your time being upset, being angry. Offer each other a foot rub, a massage, wash. Go wash each other in the goddamn bathtub. Hygiene, get dirty but get back clean. That's what I could use right now. A good neck rub. Good neck rub, good having the bath, some good massage. I think that's what these boys and women or sisters, LGBTQers, trans, whatever, need. A good massage, a good body is a temple for pleasure and for purpose. Gotta kill. We gotta channel aggressions. Yes, aggression and our natures exists within us. Violence to different levels exists within us. I also have aggression in me. I admit impulses, but I channel. It's a hard thing to do, to sublimate. Aggression, sexuality, all these, the things that we do not admit. Right, for me to come out that I'm LGBTQ, you're fully rainbow dragon. 7 years ago, past Halloween, celebrated my coming out. 7 years ago. How many of people are who are still in the closet? People now in the Russian armed forces. There's many who don't admit they're gay, bisexual. They're afraid what God will punish them, what XYZ, to admit it. For other fellow human beings, torture, psychological XYZ torture, not come out to admit it. LGBTQ issues aside, right? But it's part of it. It's part of it. I am Rainbow Dragon. I am part of the LGBTQ community. I've been open for 7 years now. Halloween. Where the things we don't admit, our differences, and as much as we have universal values, and my aspirations is towards world peace, international justice, and securing and ensuring global freedom. I am a universal revolutionary centrist, believe in public-private partnerships, in my theories to be integrated and applied ASAP for a new world order of world peace, international justice, and secured and ensure global freedom. It is with solutions that we gotta focus on. The Dragon Army, I believe, with security and service and new transnational institutions to be secure and ensure freedom by securing and ensuring the three essential elements of civilization for all by debt refusion and a public-private partnership, local, national, and international, and after integrate with all security and all citizen and all organizations and institutions, the International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, the Dragon Army across all aspects, local and national, international, citizen integration across all levels, to be of service and security. Security and services. What can the Dragon Army do, for example? Can do the services. Clean, cook, massage, read from a book, read to children, take them out if they're driving for some sports, all services on demand. And what can one offer? What can one bring to the table? What can one do to each what the needs to be met, right? For example, East, West, North, South, Dragon Army, 1-800 number, easy access, 1-800. Somebody needs help with the cooking, with the cleaning. The children are driving the parents crazy. They're too hyperactive. Medicine doesn't work. It's going to make them sick. They need to run a little bit. We got Dragon units on the ground. Somebody respond for the service. Need to service. Somebody needs some exercise. Somebody needs a trucker is about to collapse. Truckers now delivering food across North America, of which in my march earlier today I have seen them deliver food, goods, and services for the farmers. A farmer needs some help. A trucker has been on a 6 hour, 8 hours delivering food from East Coast, West Coast, from Mexico to Canada. 12-hour shift. Dragon Army. Somebody needs an hour massage there, somewhere in the hotel, in the motel. Can I get some service? Half an hour. I need a neck rub. I drove so many hours. I need a neck rub. Give him a neck rub somewhere. A good massage. Goddamn, you know the stock market gonna enable us multi-millionaires. Go watch your little play ball there with the rich multi-millionaire athletes, man. Are disconnected. Nothing against sports. We got a channel. But I'm gonna say this. With all the imperfections and all the vices and the lusts and the sufferings and the struggle that I've been through, I'm gonna say this. There's no way, brothers and sisters, that if I would have had millions of dollars, this tough financial, economic, financial, commercial season, which we just been through during this holiday, Christmas holiday season, and no way that if I would have had millions, now I'm broke. I ain't got no money, I'm in debt. $10,000. I owe to the bank $10,000 to the RBC. I'm open for business, I'm open for business, I'm open for business. Art have, love have, can work out, clean, cook, philosophize, you name it. On demand, 24/7, open for business. Owe nobody nothing. Besides the RBC, the good farmers here of Quebec, province of Quebec, and the many workers who make all these civilization which we have and which I have taken for granted, and we see how interconnected and how in certain situations we are useless, right? We depend interconnectedness upon each other, our labor and our fruits. As much philosophy, art as can have, I need to eat. I gotta eat. You gotta eat. Those multi-millionaires, as much as I love and I purchased when I had money, the Habs gear, my beloved Montreal Canadiens not doing so good, right? Multi-millionaires, our society enabled them to have salaries of millions of dollars a year to play a sport, NFL, football. Don't tell me Colin Nassib is the only gay LGBTQ player, because there's many in the NHL. For XYZ reasons, mainly economic, financial, commercial, I understand. They rushed to go back to business pre-COVID. I don't want to go back. I died during COVID. I had COVID end of January until about February 2020, before mass testing was available, until about February 20th, 2020. I'm double vaccinated, gonna get my third jab. Wash hands, open carrying my disinfectant. When I step out of this underground room, office, and temple, right here I'm private citizen Dragan, with all the imperfections, all the flaws. I'm not perfect, far from it. All the philosophy, intellectual capabilities, artistic capabilities in certain situations, I depend and interconnected on other people to work together. It's easier said than done. A lot of issues, a lot of things I don't know. And as imperfect with flaws and lusts, I lust a lot. I could make 9 to 5 overtime, kiss, hug, and massage and dance extra time, 60 hours a week. What do I gotta do for world peace? What do we gotta do for world peace? Right, our frustrations, our struggles with freedom, ideologies and spiritual. And I'm spiritual, I meditate, but I don't have all the answers. Sun will rise, sun rises, sun sets. Nature is divine. Our bodies are temples for pleasure and for purpose. I don't know it all. In a parallel life, science, innovation, and technology is my chosen path. I did diverge in this life. Art, spirituality, philosophy, theory, sexuality, the irrational, emotional life. I say goddess. Y'all say too much God, but goddess, G-O-D-D-S-S. The divine feminine is important for me. Goddess, to say that word, right? We God. Where's goddess? Eh? I don't know. I don't know at all. So many things I do not know. But this I do know, that there's no way, with all the imperfections and the flaws that I have, that if I would have had millions of dollars in my bank account, that during this economic, financial, commercial crisis that we just been through, this past December, the holiday season, that I would have not donated a lot, mass 10%, whatever. Let's say I would have had a million, would have donated a minimum 10%, 100,000, to load up a few trucks. With that 100,000, buy wholesale candies, goods, sweets, toys, books, children's books, to pack them and make, to donate to the families. And I know the neighborhoods in Hawk Island, Montreal, where there would have been the need for commercial, financial, economic relief during the tough holidays, to make a basket for the families, especially for the children, for the kids, for the children. Because civilization, we had one world war, we had 2 world wars. Western civilization, we're not perfect, we struggled so much. Myself, I've struggled. Sexual liberation has not been easy for me, for you, for Canadians. North American civilization, North America, my theories and proposition philosophical is that North America is a new civilization, and we're going towards a world civilization of global citizens, right, ensuring and securing freedom. But we have differences that I believe can be reconciled. There can be reconciliation, but it's not always easy. How ashamed we are with guilt and shame, and we don't like to admit in certain situations and emotions and feelings and resentments, the negative. And I've dealt with so much negativity, and I was suicidal, depressed, and ashamed, being LGBTQ, ashamed, guilt. The body is a temple for pleasure and purpose. Consent and hygiene, consent and hygiene. That's what we need. I'm open for business. All these technologies which are marvelous, wondrous, right? We still gotta eat, we still gotta food. Farmers calling the leaders of the free world. We're gonna do it together. We're gonna go give a massage, gonna kiss the hands, gonna wash the feet of those farmers, man, the truckers. For the multi-millionaire athletes, which I watch game of hockey, football, I work out on it, calling to be yours truly, Super Bowl performer. Gonna give half to LGBTQ farmers, XYZ. But this I know. There's no way that I would have been that selfish. I understand people want to go back to business pre-COVID, want to fight wars again. So we're about to start World War III. My World War III scenario, what causes World War III in my fictitious scenario, which began before COVID and resembles COVID in many, many ways, in October 2019, with the first session, October 17, I've got proof, because I've documented my fitness journey, my philosophy on YouTube, my Real Raw Revolutionary channel. here going live stream on this cup of coffee, spreading the passion, the philosophy, the art, the love, the hope, which do have, calling on all willingly loving. Willingly loving, because love is action. Love is action. Love is action. To my willingly loving allies and armies. And I have a dark aspect. I have negativity in me, but I channel, I sublimate to art, to working out, to marching. Today I marched for 3 hours in cold day for world peace. Didn't record well. It kind of go off. It was too cold, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to post it on YouTube. But anyways, marching. You see my marching. I'm inviting the leaders of the free world to march with yours truly in steel-toe boots. From Hawk Island, Montreal, we're going to start corner of Sherbrooke University, going roundabout Mount Royal, 3.5 hours break again, corner of Sherbrooke University. They're not paying me. I don't get any private sponsorship, but we're going to have lunch at Tim Hortons and go another 3.5 hours and break again for world peace. We're going to discuss the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom and my citizen integration theory, debt fusion theory coupled with democratic fusion. We need to fuse citizen integration theory, creating the new institution of the Dragon Army, the Dragon Security and Service Army, the International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, to be integrated across all levels, all security, public and private security forces and armed forces, and integrated with all existing organizations and institutions, local, national, and international. Brothers and sisters, gotta act local, think global. And with that said, this Halva from Ukraine, I'm gonna be having a little bit of it now. I'm thankful, grateful for it. It comes from the Ukraine. I'm gonna do a little meditation. It's what do I know about it? I know it's made in Ukraine. Do not expose to direct sunlight. And providentially in a parallel way, it says east, west. See, it says east, west. I think that's the brand. East West Company, Corporation, Importer, Exporter of Producer. See? East West, providentially. East West, right here. And it's so affordable. Look at the price that I've paid. Paid for this Halva from Ukraine. I bought 3 packs, bought 3 packs. $2.49. $2.49. See, $2.49. $2.49 for 400 grams. So more than 400 grams times 3, that's 1,200 grams, which is 1.2 kilos, which is about 2.6 pounds, right? No, it's about 3 pounds. Correction. 3 pounds about. A little bit less. 2.6 pounds about. 1.2 kilos. 2.7 almost pounds. 747 for 3 packs like this. Made in the Ukraine. Gonna do a meditation on this. This is gonna feed me, energize me to write, respond to anybody commenting, or go do YZ, check my emails, respond, open for business. See if anybody commissions me, send me a dollar via PayPal, maybe by midnight. Meditation on this Halva. This Halva is made from sunflower, one of my favorite flowers. From the black fertile earth. So the goddess here in the background, flag of the dancing goddess armies, this emblem, and the dragon army, and the rainbow phoenix, people's party, the anti-war, anti-poverty, anti-racism, which yours truly has created, calling all willingly loving. Goddess dances with her bird, the sun, makes, creates, and produces fruits, vegetables, and legumes and flowers. And the sunflower has those seeds, and the sunflower from the black fertile earth with the water, the rain, purified, and the mysterious processes from the black fertile earth with the heat, the rays, golden rays of the sun, to the light and the nutrients in the earth, and the golden sunlight and the water makes the sunflower. Makes the sunflower. Right? Makes the sunflower. And somebody harvested those sunflowers, brought them somewhere in the Ukraine, brought those sunflowers, put those seeds in the mill, crushed, And through the processes of making halva, they made the halva. It was packaged, put on a transport. One of my brothers and sisters, workers and farmers, put it on the ship. Probably came here in Montreal at the port, and one of my brothers or sisters, workers at the dock, unloaded. One of my brothers, sisters, workers on the truck, put it on the truck, loaded with brains and muscle and the logistics and the intricacy of all the supply chains, put it into the market, to the grocery store. My brother, sister, worker, store clerk scanned it 3 times because I got 3 packs. And the bill came, the machine, which was built by some mathematician and creative, and created all the machine to be able to make this so that I could eat it, so that all can be fed, so that we can continue civilization, and I can make this video. I can make other videos by this energy. A little bit of meditation. But initially it's created, made, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun, who now rises and now sets somewhere in the world, and other fruits, vegetables, and legumes are made, created, and produced. So brothers and sisters, farmers harvest. They're important. These food prices are increasing. Who's worried? It's the majority of the people, not the CEOs, multi-millionaires, billionaires, the athletes in the NFL, National Football League, National Hockey League, NHL, National Basketball Association, MLB, or multi-millionaire artists or actors or rappers. Nothing against the rich, nothing against making wealth. I want to live better myself. I'm on this underground room off some temple. I want to afford some bacon. I want to afford some chocolates. I like sweets, chocolates. I admit it. But there's no way, with all the flaws and imperfections that I have, and I do have, I admit it, I admit it, I admit it. A lot of people don't admit they are the leaders of the free world. I admit a lot of things. And leaders of the free world, yeah, ain't got nothing on me. Secret Services, KGB, no longer KGB, but FSB, Mossad, CIA, CSIS. Ain't got nothing on me, man. I owe you nothing. I owe nobody nothing. If y'all want some love, willingly loving, come to Adrian Dragon, come to Rainbow Dragon, the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom. If you don't want love, I don't think we can communicate, discuss, or dialogue much. Love is action. Stay 2 meters away, get your vaccines, get you vaccinated, and think about solutions. And move forward, see? This was made, created, and produced initially, the sunflower, by the dance of the goddess with a brother sun. Harvested by one of my brothers, farmers, sisters in Ukraine, man. See? Mm. Mm. Ah, so good. As much as a philosophy, theory that I can attain, and in a parallel life, I'm a master of science, innovation, and technology. In a parallel life, trying to connect with that parallel life where satellites, ICBM rockets, supercomputers, and micro gadgets is my chosen path. In this life, it's poetry, dance, choreography, art, philosophy, theory, short stories, and everything that has to do with art, psychology, spirituality, theory, philosophy, sexuality, the irrational emotional life, and political, social, theoretical. Mm. See, somebody's watching a hockey game now. Multi-millionaires, hockey players. They also gotta eat. I gotta eat. What did they eat? I don't know. Cheeseburgers, salads, whatever. Also gotta eat, man. Imagine the paradox that this COVID has made me reflect on so many things that we take for granted, and to realize my own journey, my own journey within self, for myself and you, my brothers and sisters, and our civilization, here North American civilization. I'm a part of myself a Quebecer, who loves the French language. I love the French language. I write in French poetry, philosophy. I do, of course, meditations in French, and I also speak Spanish, English, and French mostly. North American civilization for me includes Canada, US, and Mexico as well. Out of this emerging new world right here, this new world, and we're not perfect. We got to reconcile with the native population and Native Americans, Indians. I believe and I know I was a native in a past life many times, born here in the North American continent before the European came, before the colonization period and era, and now we're struggling here in the 21st century with globalization. And to turn back, I know it's tempting to turn back and see of an era, it was better then, right? And many, from studies and research in the Ukraine and in Russia, perhaps not millennials like myself, I'm a millennial, but those who are 50, 60, 70, they look back on the period of the Soviet Union, what's known as the USSR, and many say, a big percentage say that is, I think it was 2019, a survey being made in Russia said that more than 35% of Russians believe they had it better during the USSR. That's more than one third. That is a lot of people who think that life was better during the USSR, during the Soviet Union, that life was better. That's a lot of people. That's a few years ago. A few years ago. A research was done, a survey, scientific survey studied. Now, if it's scientific, it was, I don't remember all the details about the survey. In order to be scientific, the methodology of science has to be used, the methodology, and know a little bit about statistics, the general principles of statistics. And I'm a people's doctor. I am a people's doctor. I am a people's doctor, educated, spent many years, although struggling, suffered in depression and suicidal loneliness, chronic illness, and unemployment, what have you. Still made the libraries of the city of Montreal my second home. The many tens of thousands of books which I've read during this period, my friends, and also, of course, wrote tens of thousands of pages of poetry, theory, philosophy, which I'm giving now in a compendium, part of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom philosophy, and the Phoenix People's Party, and my philosophy, my art, my passion, right here, a little bit of it, a spark of it in live, utilizing this technology, smartphone and internet connectivity, Wi-Fi, internet miracle and of internet, and wonder of an internet, and using clean, renewable, zero pollution, thanks to the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of Quebecers who worked for Hydro and who do work now for Hydro to maintain Hydro Quebec. Clean, renewable, zero emission energy. My rent is paid, hydro bill is paid, I pay my electricity bill, coffee got, food have to survive. What would I need now? I need world peace and we need some love. LOV, love is action. A good massage is that what I fucking need right now. Why I swore. Swear a little bit from time to time. Try to limit it depending. I do philosophize. It's intellectuals sometimes, like my sister says, sometimes too many words is really unnecessary. Right? Sometimes we obfuscate simple solutions, and I have that tendency to use cosmopolitan, sophisticated, verbose language, which perhaps is best sometimes to be straightforward and direct. Sometimes it's better to be straightforward and direct. Straightforward and direct. I'm laughing because speaking with my Israeli friend, who a lot of people have a culture shock when they go to Israel and they mistake Israelis as being rude, but it's not necessarily rudeness. It's more a culture of social culture of being direct or straightforward sometimes, which sometimes we do need to be, as much as can be philosophize and think on deep subject and complex integrate systems of the past and present, whether of a social, political, or scientific, technological nature, and our interconnectedness and interdependencies of our propositions of acting local and thinking global. How, for example, that Halva from Ukraine was transported via the transport, and how many people, farmers, workers, of it, and of course from the Ukrainian currency, which let's see what it is. The Ukrainian currency. What is the Ukrainian currency? Well, we're gonna check and we're gonna learn. And the euro and our Canadian dollar comparing to the US dollar, since most of international trade economics is mostly done now, although less and less and less in the US dollar. And what is the inflation? Inflation, it's still 249 for 100 grams. Is it still gonna be 249 next week? Maybe the price is going to go up because of inflation or because of gas or because of transportation. All these things that that are so complex in the economic, financial, commercial system. That's the simple, sometimes solutions or truths. True. I don't have all the answers. I do know that I got this coffee is going to give me energy, and I need food to make art, write philosophy, poetry, advocate for world peace, and even give one of my willingly loving troops and armies and fellow citizens and supporters a massage. I'm open for business. Yours truly, to my willingly loving allies and armies, I am thy servant. Coffee with Dragan. Live here, 8:53 p.m. in Hawk Island, Montreal, EST. The Russia-Ukraine relations. We're going to be doing a little bit of reading from Wikipedia. Again, we got to understand the relationships and the fact, and this is an important historical fact, that in recent memory, I'm talking about the 20th century, where early in the 21st century, late hour, we got to focus on solutions. Here in the 21st century, not so long ago, many people who have lived that era, who are in the 50s, their 50s, their 60s, their 70s, right? Many people who have lived that era, right, of the USSR, United Socialist Soviet Republics. And yours truly, I'm not a communist, I'm not a fascist, I'm a universal revolutionary centrist. Yours truly, androgynous pansexual founder of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. Based on my theory, believe on universal revolutionary centrism, on the private and the public partnership, on the need to create this new institution, the International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, to be created by debt refusion theory, complementary with the International Integrated Dance League, to complement the four patriarchal sports leagues, which let's admit it, patriarchal sports leagues, no women's sports leagues or integrated makes even close economically, financially, commercially to what the four patriarchal sports leagues of the NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, and MLB make. And since do not like to criticize without offering alternative solutions, propositions on an alternative course of action or solutions. Because criticize, you can criticize, and sometimes, why do we gossip? Gossip. Sometimes it's an internal thing we're dealing with. We're feeling inferior, and I am inferior in certain situations. The only thing I'm the best at is dancing. The only thing I'm the best, one of the best, is dancing. In certain things, I am inferior, I am mediocre, I am below. And we have to be careful with language because it does trigger language. How we express, to be careful. But here in my private layer, I'm private. I share with the public a lot. I believe in public and private balance, harmony, equilibrium with this new world order. But if I step out of this private room, office, and temple, which is underground in Hawk Island, Montreal, I am no longer just private citizen. I'm also a public citizen. Now here I can shut everything off, get naked, start dancing, playing some rock, some rap, some techno. and can dance naked until whenever. Well, not whenever because I'm gonna run out of food. I got food for a few weeks. I got water so I can survive. My electricity bill is paid. Cannot cut my electricity. It's paid until February 2nd. Rent is paid until February. I'm open for business. You're not looking for love, you're looking for solutions, support, want to cooperate, participate. I'm open for business. If you do a criticize, offer alternative solutions. We all are busy, cannot admit that certain things were mediocre. I can skate, but I cannot break. So I'm not gonna, NHL career is ruled out. I'm too short to play basketball. I admit it. I'm not just criticizing and saying let's get rid of all the sports. NFL boys need to channel the aggressions and the force and the violence and impulses. Need to work out, exercise. For me, working out, training, exercising has been, is, and will be medicine. And I've been calling on my fitness journey. I got hundreds of workout videos in this underground room office and temple. I've lost more than 77 pounds. Oh, more than 77 now. 77. Went from 260 now to 185. 266 I've started pounds. It has been the best investment. I got no money to invest. I invest in my body every day. Workout, train, exercise, dance, workout, march in steel toe boots for world peace. I've been calling for the mass financing of my brothers and sisters to work out, train, and exercise. Especially, I'm calling on the NFL, National Football League, the owners and the players, National Football League, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB, and the economic, financial, commercial elites, and the public and the private to mass finance our youth to work out, train, exercise. They need to channel and to understand the feelings, the emotion, understanding, and then through love and understanding, LOV, to channel, not repress. Because repressing our emotions and feelings and lusts and fears and thoughts will make us sick, will make us ill. And I've been there, depressed. I'm the people's doctor, independent psychological theorist. I got my psychological theories, which I've written and propositions, tens of thousands of pages here or by hand or on my emails, and I'm sharing live now via Facebook live stream on this underground room house and temple. If I step out, right now I'm private. I do share now. I step out from my private. I'm also with the public. The internet, public domain. There's private and public in the internet, right? Sometimes we go on the private and domain and we go navigate, go to some adult websites or whatever, right? I watch pornography, I admit it, but I put myself the limit. I'm saying I'm only gonna watch pornography during the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom Sabbath, which starts at midnight Friday and lasts 37 hours, 49 minutes, and 42 seconds. Almost 38 hours, almost 38 hours, almost 38 hours. From Friday midnight to Sunday 3 p.m. For the recreation, rejuvenation, purpose, and pleasure. To dance, to work out, to rest, take some sun, cook, feast, feast, feast. I said, I'm only going to watch pornography during the Sabbath of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon King, which are one empire under the sun and stars on earth. It's been 4 weeks, 4 weekends, which I've not watched during the weekdays. I've not watched it. I've set myself a discipline, some rules, abiding by them. Hasn't been easy. I was tempted. I was tempted last night. Just 5 minutes. Just 10 minutes. Say, listen, I felt lustful. I felt an urge. I watch pornography sometimes. Now it's only during the Sabbath. For the fourth time in a row, fourth week, so it's been it's been a month. I've kept to it, kept to my discipline. Sometimes you set things, we break old habits, sometimes die hard. Right? I don't smoke cigarettes. I smoke a little bit of cannabis weed. I'm calling for the legalization. Cannabis, cocaine, speed, ecstasy. Not the dangerous drugs. Standardize, sanitize. Citizen integration theory. To have a new transnational force of security and service. To be integrated with the citizens. to channel all and come together with a resolution, with a solution. Because we have universal values. Right? Debt refusion. It's time with so many decades of debt and citizens' debts and accumulation. Refusing. Not annulling, canceling, refusing. Debt refusion theory put into practice. All private and public debt, local, national, international, refusing it, creating the international citizen integrated social security and service force integrated with all local, national, international institutions, organizations, public and private, even via Facebook, Instagram, across all platforms, social media, east, west, north, south, to be of security and service, securing and ensuring freedom. Right? Look to 20 years. Operation Enduring Freedom it was more than 15 years, and then, or 14 years, and then after enduring freedom came Freedom Sentinel, right? The U.S. military and Canadian military and NATO forces and allies, the war on terror. More than 13 years, 14, 15 years. Operation Enduring in Freedom in Afghanistan. What happened? So I'm calling for the first operation of the Dragan army will be Operation Securing Freedom. Ensuring freedom. Freedom, double-edged sword. I admit, with my tiny hands, tiny feet, tiny little androgynous clit, scar, I got a tiny scar clit dick, clit cock, clitoris cock. Now that we got out of the way, we can move to the next phase, right? Frustrations, spiritual beliefs, political beliefs, can ennoble us. New ideas, new theories. I believe I have some, not all. In some situations, I'm not perfect, far from it. Some situations, I'm dependent on others. We're interdependent, right? We're interdependent. Freedom is a double-edged sword. It's heavy, heavy to lift. I admit it with my hands, tiny hands. It's too heavy for me to lift by my solo. I need help. My sister, anonymous, sister, friend, teacher, fourth dimension, universal spiritual teacher, fourth dimension, my one and only financial sponsor at the moment, anonymous. Maybe she can lift it by her soul, by herself. Sword of freedom. Because who in this fight for freedom, this 20th century Western civilization and humanity, I'm a universal. And I'm speaking as a North American, although was incarnated in ancient India, in ancient Egypt, in ancient Babylon, ancient Rome, here in Latin America, with Bolivar, Simon, and for the world in many past lives, many incarnations, and this one here now, 20th of January 2022, this late hour, calling on all willing loving to ensure and secure freedom. The Dragan Army, the first operation, hopefully one and only operation, will be just that. Securing and ensuring freedom by securing and ensuring the three essential elements of civilization for all: food, housing, and transport. Once those three essential elements are secured, food, housing, and transport, the fourth dimension to that trinity of food, housing, and transport. That's who secure freedom for all allies, supporters, citizens, and subjects of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. Food, housing, and transport. Food, housing, and after the fourth dimension, services, services, services. What can be, you need a massage? I got you. Come, 10 minutes, 15, 30 minutes. What you need. With a system of tracking, balancing, with integrated with all social media platforms. Facebook, Instagram, with a 1-800 number, with applications calling on volunteers to build the Dragon Army app, the Dancing Goddess app. To be, of course, integrated across all platforms, inviting Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Sheryl Sandberg, Bill Gates in this underground room house and temple. While supplies last, I estimate by mid-February I'm gonna run out of coffee. By supplies last, could offer you a small cup of coffee. Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and Elon Musk right in this underground room house and temple can offer you, while supplies last, a cup of coffee. Securing food, housing, and transport, ensuring freedom by public-private partnership, this new transnational institution, international citizen integrated social security and service force. After we have secured the three essential elements, the trinity, food, housing, and transport, we can work on the fourth dimension, the services, to be of service in so many things. To read children's books, children, to be early literature, read a book. I'm writing children's books at the moment. I've written 3 books. I'm looking for volunteers with that, with all my projects. Go help with the cooking, help with the cleaning, so that there's no abuse. Of course, simple, effective system of transport, people to be able to move XYZ miles, kilometers, allocated daily, weekly, bi-weekly, daily basis, to bridge citizen integration theory so that we learn about each other. For example, here in the province of Quebec, local, see our youth, to go see these 61 dams of Hydro-Quebec, which make us have zero emission, zero pollution, emission zero, all clean energy. To go with the youth from schools, to organize with the community, right, with her. Go see so much of this province of Canada, North America, we haven't seen. 61 dams. Do it in a weekend with buses. See 61 dams of Hydro-Quebec, brothers and sisters. I didn't see them all. See how farming is done. Local, national, and international for that matter. Here in Quebec, so much farming that we have. Right? We have potatoes, we have you name it. Well, of course, not bananas, but we have potatoes, we have wheat, we have cheese, we have farms, lots of farming being done, right? Sustains all this. Creativity. Here local, North America. We don't have coffee, we import it. We have so much, and the world has so much. It's going back, it's not gonna ennoble us. Now we're at an impasse. COVID has revealed a lot of different dimensions: social, philosophical, ethical, cultural, moral, ethical, with the restrictions. I'm not going to go into mandate and COVID. I'm double vaccinated. I'm going to get the third jab. Now, the moral, ethical, with the mandates, the public and the private, that's going to be another cup of coffee, and should be a long discussion, but hopefully we'll come to a consensus of understanding. Hygiene is important. Like I said, when I step outside, I'm no longer just private citizen. Here, private room, office, and temple. Well, tomorrow I'm gonna have to clean my floors. Just gonna sweep, clean the floors, wash. I hope and carry my disinfectant. When I step out, public hygiene. Right? I've noticed a lot of people, brothers and sisters, in grocery stores, in banks, supermarkets, buildings, don't wash their hands. And it's right there, where you look, it's available. We can do better. Wash, rub your hands with soap, disinfectant, rub, RUB, because there's microbes, germs, and bacteria. Whether it's COVID or not, I hope we keep the hygienic protocols in public. What other things that we gotta do? Russia-Ukraine relations. Hopefully by I'm drinking this coffee, 9:11 p.m. EST in Hawk Island, Montreal. Yours truly, Russia-Ukraine relations. Wikipedia article. Russia-Ukraine relations refers to the relations between the Russian Federation and Ukraine. Currently, the two countries are engaged in the Russo-Ukrainian War, which started in 2014, following the Russian annexation of Crimea. Started in 2014, the annexation of Crimea. After the Soviet Union's dissolution, and this is a key geopolitical aspect, which we gotta be aware of, and we gotta be aware of when making decisions of this geopolitical world event, which marked, well, actually, the Berlin Wall's dissolution in November 1989 marked the dissolution of communism, socialism in Eastern Europe and the world for that matter. However, I'm going to say the paradox of China, and another cup of coffee, maybe somebody wants to commission, the paradox that China has been able to maintain its what it calls socialism with Chinese characteristics. And even in the speech last year in July, Xi Jinping mentioned Marxism, Marxism, Marxism. The most populated country on earth is officially Marxist, Leninist, Maoist, which is a branch of communism. Marxist, Leninist, Maoism. Marx being Karl Marx, Lenin, Vladimir Lenin, and Mao Zedong, right? 1 out of 5 people in this world lives in China by de facto, and officially still a communist socialist system. Now, I'm not going to go into the dynamics and that. That's another cup of coffee just dedicated to that. I'm going to focus on Russia, Ukraine. After the Soviet Union's dissolution in 1991, the successor states' bilateral relations have undergone periods of ties, tension, and outright hostility. In the early 1990s, Ukraine's policy was dominated by aspirations to ensure its sovereignty and independence, followed by a foreign policy that balanced cooperation with the EU. EU stands for European Union, of course, Russia, and other powerful polities. Relations between the two countries have been hostile since the 2014 Ukrainian Revolution. What is the Ukrainian Revolution? And keep in mind again that we gotta be aware that the dissolution of the Soviet Union and the Soviet Union known as the USSR, United Socialist Soviet Republics, Ukraine was part of it, and Ukraine's neighbor Moldova was also part of it, as other countries, Kazakhstan and Georgia. 15 Soviet republics constituted the USSR. Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, they're all old USSR republics, and Kazakhstan as well, right? Kazakhstan was, with Ukraine, were part of the USSR. There were many, 15 dependent called Soviet republics, communist socialist republics. 2014 Ukrainian Revolution, called the Revolution of Dignity, also known as the Maidan Revolution, took place in Ukraine in February 2014 at the end of the Euromaidan protests, when a series of violent events involving protesters, a riot police, and unknown shooters in the Ukrainian capital Kiev culminated in the ousting of elected President Viktor Yanukovych and the overthrow of the Ukrainian government. So the current events now are marked, or origins in many ways are, with the Soviet dissolution, of which we gotta be aware that many people in both Ukraine and Russia have a nostalgia attitude toward that era of the Soviet Union. And many, close to 1/3 in both Russia and Ukraine, believe, that's a lot of people, more than 1 out of 3. Mostly, they're not, mostly are in their 50s, late 40s, 50s, early 60s, 70s, mostly. Not a lot of millennials, because millennials haven't lived that era. I'm myself a millennial. So not millennials. Those who are late 40s, early 50s, 60s, 70s, right? Between late 40s to the 70s and older. Have a nostalgia view. Said life was better during the Soviet Union. For XYZ reasons, economic, financial, commercial, and perhaps political, social, cultural, because he was a superpower during the Cold War. The USSR was a superpower to rival the United States, which after the Berlin Wall, November 1989, the US and the dissolution of the Soviet Union officially occurring in 1991, December 25th, which is Christmas Day. Of course, was marked that the United States remaining the sole superpower in the world. And now many say, including myself, whether we like it or not, whether we admit it or not for XYZ reasons, paradoxically, I'm going to say China with its reforms and its socialism with Chinese characteristics, China has been a superpower since late 2007 and marking their superpower status, I believe, with 2008, the Olympics, which were held in China. Ukrainian revolution, which toppled Ukraine's elected president Viktor Yanukovych and his supporters because he refused to sign a political association and free trade agreement with the European Union that enjoyed majority support in Ukraine's parliament. Ukraine's post-revolutionary government wished to commit the country to a future within the EU, European Union and NATO, rather than continue to play the delicate diplomatic game of balancing its own economic and security interests with those of Russia, the EU and NATO members. In 2004, the Czech Republic, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, and Slovakia had joined the EU, the European Union, followed by Bulgaria, and Romania in 2007, member states of the European Union. The Russian government feared that Ukraine's membership of the EU, the European Union, and NATO would complete the Western Wall of allied countries by restricting Russia's access to the Black Sea. Interesting. With South Korea and Japan being allied to the US, the Russian government was concerned that Russia, this of course is speculation by the who wrote this Wikipedia article, or perhaps some Russian government official officially stated it, admitted it, and thus we have it written like this. The Russian government feared that Ukraine's membership of the EU and NATO would complete a Western wall of allied countries by restricting Russia's access to the Black Sea. The Russian government was concerned that Russia was being ring-fenced by potentially hostile powers in the wake of 2014, the Ukrainian Revolution of 2014. Russia backed separatist militias, militia, as in armed groups, in the Donetsk People's Republic. The Donetsk People's Republic is a self-proclaimed state in eastern Ukrainian Oblast of Donetsk. Only the partially recognized South Ossetia and the neighboring Luhansk People's Republic recognize it. The capital city and large city is Donetsk. And the Luhansk People's Republic in a war in Ukraine's economically important Donbass region on its eastern border with Russia. This region has a Russian ethnic majority. By early 2020, the war in Donbass had killed more than 13,000 people and brought some Western sanctions on Russia. International sanctions were imposed during the Russo-Ukrainian War by a large number of countries against Russia and Crimea following the Russian invasion of Ukraine, which began in late February 2014. The sanctions were imposed by the United States, the EU, European Union. Throughout 2021, Russian military buildup on the border of Ukraine has escalated tensions between the two countries and strained bilateral relations, with the United States sending a strong message that invasion would be met with dire consequences for Russia's economy. These events continued at the start of 2022. So I'm reading from the Wikipedia article titled Russia-Ukraine Relations. So indeed, these events have escalated in the past 3 days, with Canada sending troops, and from my understanding, a ship from the Canadian Navy, a ship has been sent. I'm hoping by the time I'm drinking this cup of coffee, that there's a peaceful resolution found, and willingly loving allies and armies here from Montreal, Hawk Island, Quebec, East, West, North, South, North America, brothers and sisters, and US. Speaking to somebody who was incarnated, reincarnated, was born in the USA twice. In the past life, that way, towards the Red Dragon is the South. 156 years ago, 718 miles south of my room, office, and temple, served in the US Army. In a past life. 156 years ago. I'm not that old. I was incarnated. 718 miles ago. Country comparison. Keep in mind again that Ukraine, for about 7 decades, which is 70 years, was part of the USSR along with Russia. So Russia and Ukraine were united in the USSR. It was one political, social, cultural entity. A superpower known as the USSR, the United Socialist Soviet Republics, the USSR, which existed for more than 70 years, or about 70 years. And we are living the worst economic financial crisis with this COVID in 70 years, since the Great Depression. Or solutions. Debt refusion theory. Right? Total debt refusion theory, private and public debt, creating a new institution, transnational, to reform and integrate with all World Bank, IMF, the United Nations, and private and public partnerships across all levels, citizen integration, theory put into practice, a revolution via love. If we're gonna fight a war, it not be for love, L-O-V, with dancing. I rather dance, kiss, massage, read, write, create, write poetry, songs. Kiss, hug, massage, wash, dance, work out, do push-ups, hog squats, a little bit of chant, rapping, and art. I didn't have World War III, and well, we got nukes, ICBM rockets, and freedom. This is 7 holy, sacred, divine letter word that still offends, just like when I say goddess. We can be secular. I step out, can leave my baggage and my spiritual beliefs at the door. The hygiene when I go in the bank, in the grocery store, in the building, and keep it secular and professional and business. But we got different dimensions, and some are gossip. Sometimes we feel inferior or mediocre. We gotta gossip. What he done, what she does, what he does, what he do, what he did. I'm not perfect. Far from it. I admit. In certain sports, I'm mediocre. I suck. Certain things, sometimes I'm useless. In others, I excel. In others, I'm good. In others, I'm so. In others, I'm okay. Russia-Ukraine relations. Peace, brothers. Peace. Population of Russia is 146,171,015. Ukraine has a population of 41,319,838, excluding Crimea. The area, of course, Russia is the biggest geographical area. Russia, the area is 17,125,191 square kilometers. Ukraine, listen to that comparison. Russia is the biggest. Canada were second. Ukraine were 600 603,550. Ukraine, the square kilometers. So it's not even, it's about 5%. My quick calculation. The population is big, but the area. So Russia is almost 30 times bigger than Ukraine in terms of, wow. So 17 million square kilometers compared to 600,000 square kilometers. It's almost, because if we do times 10, that would be 6 million, and then almost 30 times in size, in geographical expanse, the geographical area. Wow, wow, wow. Population density 8 per square kilometers. Russia is more dense, 73.8, because Russia is wide. Time zones of Russia, 9 time zones, 9 hours from the extreme east of Russia to the extreme west of Russia, because time zones are calculated east-west, right? Not north-south. Time zones are east-west. Time zones are east and west. Time zones are east and west. For example, it's 9:28 p.m. EST in Hokkaido, Montreal. And I'm not that smart. I don't know it all. I don't know what's in this super smartphone. I know a little bit. I don't know how it connects to the cell phone towers, and maybe somebody's hacking me now, or can whatever. Computer science, I know a little bit. In a parallel life, I'm a master of science, innovation, and technology, and supercomputers, and ICBM rockets, and microchips, and satellites. In this life, I'm a great poet, dancer, philosopher, artist, independent psychological theorist with my psychological theories and philosophical theories and poetry and songs, and artist, athlete, activist, world peace advocate, and political science theorist. Capital city Moscow, Ukraine, Kiev. Moscow, largest city, population of 12,197,000. The metro area of Moscow is 20 million. Big city Moscow. Kiev, population of 2.9 million. The metro is 3.3 million. The government is federal semi-presidential constitutional republic. The Ukraine is unitary semi-presidential constitutional republic. Official language is Russian. Ukrainian. What is Ukrainian? Ukrainian, historically also known Ruthenian, is a East Slavic language of the Indo-European Slavic languages. Native language of Ukrainians. Religions: Russia 71 Orthodox, 15 non-religions, some Islam. Ukraine 34% Orthodox. Church of Ukraine 27.6 Orthodox, unaffiliated 13.8 Ukrainian Orthodox Church. Ukrainian Greek Catholic, Protestant, Evangelicals only 0.7%. Russia 80.9 Russians, 8.75 Turkic peoples, 3.96 other Indo-European speakers. This is the ethnic groups of Russia. And Ukrainians, in Ukraine 77.8 Ukrainians, 17.3 Russians, 4.9 other or unspecified. GDP nominal. IMF, by the International Monetary Fund, international financial institutions headquartered in Washington, D.C. $1,576 billion, while Ukraine has 126 billion. So more than about 13 times GDP. Russia. GDP nominal, PPP, per purchasing power, 4,168 billion, while Ukraine is 389 billion. GDP per capita, so that means per citizen, right? Per capita means come per citizen. Russia 10,955, Ukraine 2,583. So considerably, almost 1/4, 25%, 75% less, or about 25% of the Russian capital GDP. Interesting. I didn't know that would be such a big difference in the GDP per capita and GDP per between Ukraine and Russia. I thought it was closer. This Halva that I bought, he was still in an economic, financial, commercial crisis and admit I'm poor. I'm broke, not poor. I'm rich. Rich in philosophy, art, dance moves, theory, rants, and workouts and push-ups. Got billions of push-ups, billions of marching steps, hawks, squats, workout, punching Donald Trump in the nose to make his nose grow like Pinocchio's. Kisses got by the trillions, 156 trillions of kisses. So I'm rich in kisses, working out, philosophy, rants, poetry. I'm just economically, financially, commercially, and that thing we call money, which is a unit of exchange. Russian armed forces, this is going to be important in this context. So the Russian armed forces, according to the Wikipedia, military strength, Russian armed forces in 2020, about 900,000. Army 280,000, Navy 150,000, Air Force 165,000. Strategic Rocket Forces 50,000, Airborne 45,000, Special Operations Forces 10,000. Correction. Railway Forces. Yeah, Russia has a special railway troops, unlike any other country that I'm aware of. Correction or instruct me, direct me. I don't know it all. I know a little bit, something about nothing. If you know another country which has something similar or close, or who's the closest after, in terms of what Russia has as special, I think this is based, of course, to the USSR era. Railway troops of the Russian armed forces are railway troops servicing the logistical support of the Russian armed forces. They are involved in ensuring the defense of Russia. Railway troops perform the task of rail services. It is the oldest such force in the world, established in 1851. Do not underestimate Russia. Who's in NATO? Mr. Jens Stoltenberg. Cor- Correction, pardon if mispronounced thy name, Jens, Jens, Jens Stoltenberg. Mr. Jens Stoltenberg. Drop down and give Dragan 013 push-ups with love and for the sake of world peace. Leaders of the free world with it. Mr. Putin. What do we gotta do? We gotta box a little bit for world peace. What I gotta do for you not to invade Ukraine? Let's eat some halva. Come in Montreal Island or meet somewhere Tel Aviv, Jerusalem. Me, Dragan, Putin, and Biden. Leaders of the free world with it. Drink some halva, Ukrainian halva, some Coca-Cola and some vodka. Eat halva, drink Coca-Cola and some vodka for world peace. Give you a massage. And you give me a good neck rub. Live. For world peace. Wouldn't that be a good event? Proposal, commission. Где находится банк, который час? Красный, голубой, корабль, самолет. Кредитная карточка. Черный, красный, белый. Голубой. Пиво, молоко. Сыр. That was a little bit of Russian. I know a little bit of Russian. Some words, some phrases here and there, mostly for travel. So the railway troops of Russia, 29,000. Command and support, 180,000. Paramilitary, 554,000. Border Guard, 160,000. Estimated. Federal Guard, 40,000, 50,000. FSB, Special Purpose Center, 4,000. National Guard, 34, correction, 340,000 estimated. Reserve, 2 million. Of the above, 28,000 are in Crimea, internationally recognized as part of Ukraine, and 3,000 reported in eastern Ukraine. Eastern Ukraine separatist forces. The separatist forces of the war in Donbass. Interesting looking flag. Is the umbrella term for the military formations affiliated with the unrecognized pro-Russian breakaway regions in Ukraine called the Donetsk People's Republic and Luhansk People's Republic. These groups were formerly militias and armed volunteer groups. Donetsk People's Republic, 20,000 estimated troops, and Luhansk estimated 14,000 troops. Current President Vladimir Putin. How much do I know about Vladimir Putin? A little bit. The media here and there. What did Putin have for dinner, for breakfast, for lunch? What did Putin eat in 1989, November 9, when the Berlin Wall fell? Putin got to eat too. My brother Putin also got to eat the fruits. The goddess that dances with her brother's son to make, create, and produce all fruits, vegetables, and legumes. Justin Trudeau. Now, marching steel toe boots for yours truly, DraganZ takes any order from any leader of the free world. I ain't taking orders from no leader of the free world. Got a double vaccinated. Going to get the third. I like to get dirty, but I get back clean, royal, regal, lofty. Androgynous pansexual leader, not a dragon. Androgynous pansexual founder of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. Not perfect, far from it. Got issues. Get moody, get upset. Y'all don't admit. I gotta read off a piece of paper. Y'all paid good enough. Y'all good. You can memorize a paragraph. I ain't taking no order from no leader of the free world. Gotta come march in steel toe boots with yours truly for world peace. 3.5 hours roundabout Mount Royal. Another 2.5 hours after we have lunch. Not easy, freedom, ensuring freedom. So we're on the brink of World War III. My World War III scenario, I've created it paradoxically as a world peace advocate, but also a student scholar of history, wars, geopolitics, civilization. I said the US-China trade war marked for me the beginning of our move towards World War III. Start Ukraine, paradoxically former USSR, Soviet Socialist Republic, or Russia invading, for united in the USSR. This war with Ukraine was part of the USSR could trigger World War III. Would be such a paradox. China, Taiwan. Anyways, Putin, Vladimir Putin, born October 7, 1952. From Wikipedia, I'm not going to read on the Putin, inviting Putin, leaders of the free world, and Volodymyr Zelensky. Volodymyr Zelensky is from Ukrainian president since 2019 May. Ukrainian actor, comedian, Volodymyr Zelensky. I had no idea. Comedian. Somebody said it earlier, and I wrote something and said, no, literally. I said, literally? What do you mean, literally? Literally, President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, spent many years as a comedian and an actor. I said, really? I can do a little bit of comedy. Sometimes there's a comedy in my psyche. Sometimes there's a comedy in my own psyche. In my own psyche, there's a comedy. But a comedy for world peace. I have a few ideas. Volodymyr Zelensky, Putin, and me and the leaders of the free world can do a comedy in Jerusalem with a little bit of Yiddish. Das macht jeden nicht deinen großen Putz. I have no idea, but maybe it's a good thing. We need a little humor. Zelensky was born 25th January 1978, Kiev, Ukrainian SSSR, Soviet Union, to Jewish parents. I was a Jew in many past lives. Ancient Israel, the Temple of Solomon. What a beauty that was. I had visions of a past life. I was a rabbi also in Babylon, rabbi in ancient Rome, a rabbi in a past life, Frankfurt am Main. Zelensky, he was born, the current president of the Ukraine, was born in the Ukrainian SSSR, Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic. The Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic, and this is important for us to understand the current situation in many ways or have a further, deeper, profound understanding of it. Zelensky was born 78 in Ukrainian SSSR, the Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic, also known as Soviet Ukraine, was one of the constituent republics of the Soviet Union from the Union's inception in 1922 until its breakup in 1991. So almost 70 years was part of the Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic of the USSR, the United Soviet Socialist Republics. So Zelensky, born to Jewish parents in the Soviet Union, comedian, actor, director, screenwriter, film producer, and politician. I myself can get along. I'm a philosopher, dancer, poet, universal spiritual teacher, student, because I'm learning every day. I'm a universal spiritual teacher and student because I'm learning every day. I don't know it all. I'm a philosopher and a theorist. Got theories, Trinity, citizen integration theory, democratic fusion theory, and debt refusion theory, which I'm calling the implementation, creation thereof. An application. I can do some comedy. Sometimes there's a comedy in my psyche, my brain, as I'm trying to say a little bit of comedy, which can be offensive, triggering. I get triggered, I get offended, I got feelings and emotions. The universal revolutionary centrist. To break the impasse, break the impasse, break the impasse. Via love and understanding. Humor, comedy can be part of it. Working out, training, exercising, sharing, and a new world order of world peace via love is action. So now to the current relations. We're going to read in the news. In 2022, the UK Defence Minister Ben Wallace characterized Putin's article on the historical unity of Russians and Ukrainians as a skewed and selective reasoning to justify, at best, the subjugation of Ukraine, and at worst, the forced unification of that sovereign country. So now let's see in the news. I'm gonna listen to a little bit of a news here live. Not live, but Peace, brothers. Peace.